The multiplayer in Black Ops Cold War has just been a massive disappointment to me so far, and if you'll give me a few minutes to reminisce, I'm going to talk a little bit about my first experience with Call of Duty and what brought me into the series and kept me coming back, and that was Call of Duty 4. I went over to a friend's house. He suggested we play it. I had never played a first-person shooter before. We were passing the controller back and forth from game to game, and let me tell you, I sucked. I thought when people were like, I went 10-2, that they were talking about kills and assists for like the first 4 months that I was playing the game. I didn't realize it was kills and deaths, and that I would probably need to up my game and get a little bit better. But the accessibility of that game was what brought me back to it over and over and over again. It led me to buying an Xbox 360 and Call of Duty 4, and then creating this channel and beginning to post videos that led into Modern Warfare, and then, you know, other Black Ops entries, World at War, Zombies, and, you know, what we're posting and talking about today. And if this was the entry that I first experienced, I would not have come back. I don't know what the expectation is for new players coming into this and being confronted with this skill-based matchmaking. It does not lend itself to enjoyment. It's so campy, so sweaty. This game is like the most, this gameplay I'm posting now is the most that I've moved around in this game so far. And I watch it back and it makes me sick, to be honest. That I would play like this on the edge of the map, sitting in corners on an objective, watching people go towards objectives. I watched a Blame Truth video yesterday where he literally like stayed in the same 40 square foot spot of the map the entire time, and he addressed it, that that's not how he wants to play either. And it seems so tone deaf that the developers would make this entry with this skill-based matchmaking and not realize, like, that's not the player base of Call of Duty, in my opinion. There certainly are people like that. The competitive scene has been strong and alive. Like, I'm not going to argue that at all. But the majority of us are casual players that want the possibility of eventually dropping a nuke on someone or getting a chopper gunner from the kill streak. Like, I don't want to have to run care package every time like everyone else so that, you know, I can quickly get a kill streak that might allow us to get an extra 2 points in domination and win 200 to 198. Because that's where we are right now. And I played this game with a party of 4, and nobody was talking to each other because everybody's so laser focused on trying to stay alive and take objectives that, like, we're not laughing, we're not joking, we're not having the fun that I'm so used to in these series. And I think that that's what a lot of people are experiencing, is that every game feels like a grind. There's nothing wrong with a competitive match. Some of my most memorable experiences from these titles has been when you win by 1 point, when you pull it out at the last second to get away with that victory, and then you can take a step back and be like, oh, that was a crazy game. I'm so happy it's over with. You know, let's move on to the next one. Not like, that was such a grind. The next game's going to be such a grind. The game after that, going to be a grind. It just doesn't stop. Every match comes down to 2 points. That's not why I play this game. And if it wasn't for the supposed integration on the 16th of the Warzone, the weapons into Warzone, I would not be playing this game. You know, a lot of people have leveled everything up and then like stopped at max level. I can't even be bothered to get to max level right now. And that's coming from somebody who in previous titles went through every single prestige and had fun doing it. So, again, I ask, like, as someone who's a new player picking this up, how do you load it back up each day? I don't imagine that you would be willing to do that just based on skill-based matchmaking. And then you add in all the inconsistencies of the gameplay, like the weapons during engagements. There's times where I feel like I have a laser beam, and as long as I, have bullets on in the engagement, like first, then I'm going to be fine. And there's other times that I go into the engagement doing the same exact thing I've done before that's been successful for me, and I just get lit up like my gun is shooting, glitter puffs out of it. So it almost leaves me speechless, like how we got to this point. How the character animations feel like I am made of Play-Doh, how this can be best play of the round, how we are still doing a halftime switch with 100 points being the halftime. Like we made so many strides forward, and then Black Ops Cold War, it feels like it came out of a vault in the ground. Like we made this game in the early 2000s and forgot about it, and now here it is because we got to put something out this year. Most of it is going to be inconsistent. There's going to be animations that don't make sense as far as being in line with other COD entries. You'll be able to jump and leap over barriers that in every other game and previously you would not have looked at as something that you could mantle and mount. Like any other game, right? Bus laying in the middle of the street, you're going around the bus.
Nice, we got it.
A lot of people hate the map the map in Modern Warfare with the buses in the middle where the B flag is. But you know that you can't jump over the buses to get the B flag. You're running up the scaffolding and jumping on the buses, or you're working around the buses to defend that flag. You're not just mantling all of this stuff like it's a small barrier and your guy is, got a jetpack on. I'm actually getting so frustrated in this video that I'm probably not even making sense anymore. I want to play casually. I think a lot of other people want to be able to play casually. If you like to sit in corners, that's great. It can lead to success. Certainly, I've sat in some corners before to knock out the last kill streak.
There's one where I was there.
But playing the entire game like this,
Coaching B, all of them.
it's not what I want to do. I feel cheap doing it. I don't feel good when I get kills. The end of this game actually,
Nice.
it actually brought me back. I have a nice little run that reminded me of what the game used to feel like. But it felt like it all the time. How do we fix it?
Man,
Right?
I'm shot from every angle.
Like how do we address this and move forward? I think it's on the development team to at least address the way they've built this game. And if it's going to stay this way, then I also would like them to address why these changes were made. Why did we put in such competitive features without user interface features that backed up the gameplay? Like, I don't know where I stand ranking-wise. I just feel like I know that if I play well at all, I'm immediately going to be put into a lobby of MLG gamers or something. I don't need all the sweat in my life. I need consistency from the video game. I need to be able to look down sights and easily acquire someone and not feel like I'm playing in a realm of shadows. It is so distracting. That clip right there is a great example. It's so distracting when you're in a firefight with someone and really the only contrast on the screen you have is their muzzle fire. That right there is another great clip. So difficult to acquire targets. Did we not test this at all and go, this doesn't feel like our previous entries. This doesn't play
Where the hell are they?
in the same way that players would expect it to. And it's not like they added one feature that changed the gameplay a little bit. Everyone is saying this. Everyone is disappointed in the way they have to play now. Everyone is disappointed in skill-based matchmaking and doesn't... I mean, look at all of the content creators that are currently getting called out for reverse boosting because they're unable to make the videos that people love seeing. The videos that give this game the visibility that it's so, that it's had to this point. Usually I'd be commentating a gameplay like this and just going off right now about this kill streak. But I watch it back and although it felt good to finally like put some kills together in this situation, it's still pretty campy, right? Like I'm not pushing here. I'm just waiting for people to run into my muzzle.
They're coming in here.
And I'm sure that my reward for outplaying these guys
This one's ours.
is going to be a harder lobby next game. Well, I think I've complained enough. Let me know what you guys think. Is there any way to address this? Are the hashtags that people are putting out right now going to create any sort of change? Are you as frustrated as I am? Or am I doing something wrong? Is this just what COD is now? And should we just look forward to the next Battlefield entry? I don't know. Leave me a like, a comment, follow me on Twitter, subscribe if you would. See you soon.